For the nation, by the nation. Islam Alive Radio.
Assalamu alaikum listeners. Today is Saturday, the 2nd of March, a new month. The time is 3 p.m. South African time. I'm your host, Ash Karigo, reporting from Cape Town, South Africa. This is the show Liberation Education. Shukran for being tuned to Islam Alive Radio. Remember, you may check us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. We can like, share, and subscribe. For any queries, email us on islamaliveradio@gmail.com, or you can send us a WhatsApp on +27 81 217 6012. That's +27 81 217 6012. Disclaimer: the views and opinions of Islam Alive Radio expressed by any guest or presenter are not necessarily the views of Islam Alive Radio. Previously, on the 8 chapters of Liberation Education. On the first chapter, I spoke on my research at UCT on Islamophobia worldwide. Then on the second podcast, I had my co-host, Zaina Ali. We had a talk on Muslim women representation. We then had an interview with Fawzia Abrams on the third chapter on her organization, Women Within Network. Chapter 4, again with my co-host Zaina Ali, we spoke on indigenous struggles and how they are relevant today. Chapter 5, we had Zaid Ahmed speaking for Youth for Humanity, an NGO. Then Aisha Hamdullah on the 6th podcast. She's a DBE scholarship alumni in Ireland now, and also works in Frontline Defenders. In chapter 7, we had Zeenat Isaacs, the founder of Supporting Mentorship Through Art. And finally, last week, we had Thakirah Toefy, the vice chair of UCT MSA, speak on campus life for Muslim academic youth. Today, we are here with Waheedah Dien, and she's the founder of Halaal Sisters Retreat. And yes, on Liberation Education, we've been talking about heavy social justice related topics, politics and, charity work, etc. But with exams around the corner, we are taking a bit of a shift into the realm of mental health again, similar to the work we discussed in chapter 3 with Fawzia Abrams. And this time we are looking at the concept of mental health through international connections, through travel, with Halaal Sisters Retreat, led by Waheedah Dien. Assalamu alaikum, Waheedah. Shukran so much for being with us today. How are you feeling?
Walaikum salam, Ashika. Shukran for having me. I'm feeling a bit nervous, but I'm also very excited to share the story of Halaal Sisters Retreat, what we do, and just giving your listeners more information.
Well, we on Islam Alive Radio are excited for you to be here with us. It's great to have you with us. I would like you to tell us a bit about yourself, who you are and where you are from.
I'm Waheedah from Cape Town. I'm a mom of 2, and I am also the founder of Halaal Sisters Retreat.
A fellow Cape Townian sister. What is Halaal Sisters Retreat, and when was it created?
So Halaal Sisters Retreat has a long background, but initially the idea started in 2018. I wasn't living in South Africa at the time, but just fast forwarding to July, August last year is when I actually officially launched the business. And the reason was it was just really like a response, that women have to really just have a moment to pause, on their daily routines, and really just providing women the opportunity to have a break for themselves, focus on themselves, just to relax. Sometimes you just need time to reflect on things that you don't get a chance to reflect on. You also just have an opportunity to meet other women, like-minded women. So we all, have maybe similar struggles, but you feel alone or isolated when you are going around in your daily routines, and you feel like you're struggling with certain things. And basically this the idea of the retreat is just to provide a safe, nurturing environment for women. So it's really about bringing women together, uniting, connecting, and recharging bodies, minds, and souls.
I absolutely love that, relationship with sisters and connecting with other women. And the fact that it's quite recent as well. Last year, it was created last year, but I see it's already doing so well. What inspired this project, this initiative? And why is it women only, this Halaal Sisters? Why is it women only?
Okay, shukran so much for your kind words. Yeah, so like as I said before, I wasn't living in South Africa, in 2018, and we came back in 2020. And of course, that was like a really crazy time. Well, for us also, I mean, we moved from one country to another with our kids and left our jobs. So at the time, I think it was about a year later in 2021, I felt like I just needed, I needed some time and space to just really like realign my goals, focusing on what I wanted going forward. I decided to join a local retreat. So I was looking for something that was geared towards women. And then I was thinking, I found some that was internationally based, but I needed something obviously like closer to home. And food was a really important aspect for us, of course. So I was looking for something that would cater for halal food. And I couldn't find anything. I did end up joining a local retreat, but it was a vegan one. I thought, okay, vegan food should be okay. But of course, at the time, I didn't realize like how just like salat times, just obviously the mixing of men and women. It was a bit uncomfortable for me, and when I worked abroad, I was head of marketing at a resort, and we ran retreats there. So I obviously knew what I just a weekend, just a few days to just take time out, not think about cooking, not doing washing, like the simple things. I mean, these things, it's just part of our daily lives, and it's really it can really get to you, after like doing it nonstop for like 10 years. So I just needed a space and a time to just like think about, what do I want for myself? Where am I going? Am I like mentally, am I seeing to myself mentally, basically? And so I just thought to myself, you know what? I have this experience. It's been in the pipeline since 2018. I'm just going to, you know, do kind of like a market research. And I asked, family, friends, what do they think about the idea? And they were all so encouraging. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm actually going to just do this. And so basically, that's what I did. I decided, you know what, it's time for me to create this space that I've always wanted to. And so basically my inspiration is really like the women that I want to have the opportunity to experience, a retreat, and to know that it's not actually selfish to take time out. You're not basically you actually seeing to yourself, because once you fill your own cup, you can't really pour from an empty cup. So once you see to yourself, you go back energized, you feel more aligned, you feel more focused, to actually give the people that need you, that you support on the daily, to give them more of you. You're more focused, you're more mindful of like of what you're doing, you present, you living in the moment. So I think that is that's really the inspiration behind why I started this retreats. And then women only, of course, like it's just more comfortable to be around only women, the discussions that we have, we discuss things that, maybe only, struggles that as women, Muslim women, women of color, we go through. And so basically, it's just really a safe place for us to discuss these things, and just to know that you're not alone in how you're feeling and what you're going through.
That really is inspiring, like your story and your experience behind it that built this initiative from the ground up. It's really an empowering, thing to learn from you. And also, why do you think it is important for sisters to go on a retreat specifically? Some organizations, they'll put up, Zoom calls for like the support you would mention between sisters. And you tried, the retreats between sisters and going further out from even Cape Town, further from South Africa. And why do you think this would be, crucial thing for our Muslim sisters?
So in today's busy lifestyle, I think it's really easy, to put everyone else's needs above your own. Obviously, like, my retreats are open to all women, not only Muslim women, but of course the Muslim. I come from a Muslim community. I grew up. I'm part of this community. So for me, obviously, that is my main focus. The halal part of it is the food. Also, during the retreats, we do make. We don't have activities during Salah times. But besides that, just taking time out for self-care is so important. And like I said, like, everyone's schedule is busy. It's very easy to just, like, set your own needs aside for others. And I think it's just, the retreat is really just an opportunity for us sisters to just disconnect, and just connect with yourself, your own goals, what you want, your friendships, your relationships, and just, like, be more focused. A change of environment is also so important. You're just getting out of the space that sometimes you feel stressed, and you don't know why. Like, just changing your environment, taking a break, and then also just meeting other women. Sometimes it's not so easy to just meet women, especially, like, the older you get. So this is really just a great space to meet other women, meet like-minded women. We're sharing our stories. We all come from different backgrounds. Everybody, can learn from one another. And then also, like, the workshops, the activities that I try to incorporate into the retreats is really just to open up, like, just open up our world, open up your eyes, open your mind to just see that there are other ways to deal with stress, anxiety, other types of therapies that you could do that doesn't actually impede on our religion, and then also, basically, for the international occasions, I try to incorporate, like, local, tours or experiences, more than tours, more experiences, to incorporate, like, the local life of that town, of that village, of that city that we will be visiting. People also sometimes assume, maybe there's not Muslims in a certain place, but then there is, like, a very big Muslim community. So I just want to, like, just share all of those things. I choose locations with, Islamic heritage, give the participants a chance to learn about it, learn about the history, learn about the contributions that they've made, within the Muslim community that they are based. So yeah, I think that is really, why I think, like, us women and Muslim women specifically really need to just, try to think about ways that they can incorporate, a self-care routine that really encompasses, like, body, mind, and soul. And the retreat really just provides that space. Even if you don't know where to start, A lot of our activities are very, introductory. So you get like an opportunity to see, okay, is meditation for me, or is yoga for me? And just to say that, like, yoga is just that, I would just say yoga, but there's so many different types of yoga. Not all of them are doing different poses. When we were in Zanzibar, we did Kundalini yoga, which is just breath work. So you're just sitting for an entire hour, and we practice different breathing techniques, which is just all there to calm the nervous system, like activating your self healing within your body. So, and just to relax, you know what I mean? So yes, I hope I answered your question.
It's great that your purpose and your goal is to open your mind to new experiences and new cultures and, different worlds, as in, going to internationally, going to a different space other than South Africa, Cape Town, especially for our Muslim sisters who go through a lot. And you mentioned Zanzibar as well. Is this your first retreat? When was it? And tell us about the experience in detail.
So, no, Zanzibar was my second retreat. My first retreat was in Hout Bay in Cape Town. So, that was in October last year. Yes, and Alhamdulillah, it was really a great success. I was obviously really nervous. Obviously, it was my first one hosting here in Cape Town. I had 6 women that I did not know at all who joined. No, one of the women was my best friend, and the rest of the women were like people that really just like, took a chance, booking with me because they didn't know me. They were all, worried, like, is this real? Isn't it real? But of course, like, Alhamdulillah, they all gave me a chance, and I am still so grateful for them, for coming onto the retreat. So yeah, so that one is just that one happened in October last year, and it was just so amazing to meet so many strong, resilient, inspiring. They all come from different backgrounds, and everyone could share, their own personal stories, and it just so it just grounds you, knowing that you're not that your struggles, for yourself, you may feel like, wow, I'm going through the most, and you hear someone else's struggle, and you realize, like, how fortunate you are. So this retreat, yes, so for the Cape Town retreat, I basically have almost like the itinerary doesn't change between the Cape Town retreat. So some of the activities will change, but the basic layout of the retreat will always remain the same. So we start on the Friday afternoon. We do the welcome circle, and I introduce, what they to expect from the retreat. And then we have a yoga session. Again, it depends on what the yoga instructor, the type of yoga that they'll do. In last year, October, we did yoga with Tasneem, and then after that we do like a group dinner. So on the retreats, I always include meals, and for the local retreats, I include like your tea, coffee, because it's just really something less to worry about. So we do brunch and dinner, and then also your teas and coffees and snacks. You have to bring your own snacks and breakfast if you want to. But besides that, I mean, the activities that we do is basically like movement, yoga. We also did it's almost like a creative movement, So I had a lovely instructor to do the creative movement with us in October, and after that we take some time to write down 3 things that we want to let go of. Maybe there's something that you're sitting with you, could be like years, months, doesn't matter, like maybe something that's bothering you and you feel like, it's taking up too much of my energy, I need to let this go. So in the Saturday afternoon, we just take time to focus on that. So some people go and nap. If you're with a friend, you can have that conversation that you've never had a chance to have. And then we write down those things, and then we have a group dinner again. And after the dinner, we basically do like a ceremony. We just light a candle, and everybody gets the opportunity to go up to the candle and burn those things, and the significance of that is like seeing that physical letting go of something that you've been holding on to. And it's actually quite empowering, because once you see that, and you're actually ready to let it go, you feel, like you've now created space for something new. So you have an opportunity to just, to let go of that thing, and then also, allowing something new to come into your life. So that is basically um, the format, and then the next day we do, I've been doing the EFT tapping sessions on the Sunday, but it could be anything. If I find something interesting that I'd like to share with women, I will get that person in. So example, the last retreat was last weekend, actually, also in Hout Bay, and someone reached out to me, and she made these products specifically for menopausal women. And I thought to myself, wow, this is so amazing, and then she also did some Japanese face massage, and she came just for the day, popped in, gave us the introduction about her products, the ingredients that she's using, and then she gave some women, like, a face massage. So I just like to always connect with local businesses, Muslim businesses, Muslim-owned, women-owned businesses. I think it's so amazing, and if there's an opportunity, I will incorporate it into my retreats, and so yeah, I think also depends on the weather. We do some activities indoors, we do some activities outdoors. In the last one, it actually started raining, while we were doing an activity, and we just continued, and it was so amazing. It was like, when last did you just like stand in the rain? um, so yeah, so that's basically, like a really brief and light introduction into the first retreat, and then also like touching a bit on, like, what we did in our past retreat this past weekend.
I love how adaptive you are. Like, you take the weather, you take the your environment into consideration, and you connect with local businesses whenever you can into your retreats, and just, so it's just a great experience for everyone. You also mentioned daily yoga or meditation at the retreat to start the day, and the reflections as well. What benefits do you think these have in the long term, for girls to do on the retreat? Especially sometimes they don't want to reflect. Some people might not want to go back, but you do reflect on this and you let it go. And yes, what are the benefits that you think have, for yoga and all these reflections?
So incorporating the yoga and meditation on the retreats, yeah, it serves multiple purposes, and of course these benefits to these practices. They really, they help you to reduce stress. It just clears your mind, it grounds you, and of course there's also a physical aspect to it, especially with yoga. It can, it looks, like these little movements, but they can really test you, and then really, for the ladies, like I say, it's really introductory things. It's not anything that's going to make anyone uncomfortable. Maybe in the beginning, closing your eyes, focusing on your breath. It's something new, but you also may realize that, you never gave your breath much thought. You are breathing every day. You need your breath to survive. I had a lady that joined last week, and she said to me, during the yoga session, she wasn't sure if she could actually do the yoga, and just before that, like I say, intention setting is so important. You set your intentions, you ground yourself, and part of it, they said, like, just to give each body part attention. And she said, she's never ever thought of really giving her heart attention. You know your heart is beating. People say, oh, you need to eat healthy for your heart, but you don't actually sit and feel your heart beating, saying thank you to your heart for beating, appreciating what your heart is actually doing for your body. And she said that was like really a profound moment for her. So, alhamdulillah, there's so many benefits if we just open to experiencing them, to giving it a chance. And like I said, it's really about different ways to reduce stress, to really manage anxiety, and just really giving something else a chance. Instead of just trying the same things, you can try something new.
That's so true. We don't really take time to think about the small things, and it accumulates like how much we do take for granted, but we should actually, be appreciative of more. And that's definitely what you aim to focus on during those yoga sessions, during those reflections. And yes, we'll be taking a little break on Islam Alive Radio. We'll be taking a short break, and after ads and qasidas, we'll be continuing with Liberation Education on Islam Alive Radio, Chapter 9. We'll see you in a bit.
Southern Hill Gas and Hardware. If you'd like to purchase any size gas tank or even refill your gas tank, needing any screw or hammer and some sort of building equipment, visit Southern Hill Gas and Hardware in Southern Hill Drive, Lavender Hill. Islam Alive Radio is sponsored by Southern Hill Gas and Hardware, Cape Town, South Africa.
مش ممكن زي غرامك انت الاقي غرام لو اقولك اني بحبك الحب شوية عليك لو ثانية انا ببعد عنك برجع مشتاق ليك طمني خليك ويايا دوبني ودوب في هوايا تعال نعيش اجمل ايام.
You just heard a song by Eliana, a Palestinian artist who is going viral on social media recently. She sang at the Opera House at Toronto, a cover Nassini Al Dunya. Greetings from Islam Alive Radio. This is Chapter 9 of Liberation Education. I'm here with Waheedah Dien from Halaal Sisters Retreat, and we will continue with the questions to Waheedah. Waheedah, you mention retreats as a break from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. What do you mean when you refer to, this hustle and bustle and what we experience in the everyday lives of these women?
Yeah, so, when I say everyday life, I just mean, we continuously juggling personal, professional, and family responsibilities. The retreat is just really opportunity to take a break, to press pause, and just allowing the women to breathe, reflect, and then also just stepping away from those pressures just momentarily, and just focusing on themselves.
Definitely a break from all those pressures that especially Muslim women do face in all aspects of their lives. And you do mention self-care itself as an important theme on your retreat. What other methods besides yoga did you include in the program to help them, recharge this self-care and perhaps going out of the space, maybe in the retreat or the rooms, or yes, what other methods did you try to let go of these pressures?
So besides yoga, we have other workshops. We do positive affirmations. We do gratitude circle, which I think is so important. We do mindfulness as well, creative arts, which is part of the positive affirmations workshop. And then, it's just really the actual self-care element is actually them being there is self-care as well. They get time to spend alone, they don't have to be in their rooms. So the space in Hout Bay is really beautiful. There's so many outside spaces. There's actually a lot of common areas as well, that is free to use during the retreat. So I mean, like, the worksheets that I also give is really just to complement, all the activities happening during the retreat. So the international retreats are obviously a little different because we actually go out, But for the Cape Town retreats, I don't see the need, to go out anyway. The space itself is beautiful. There's a really big pool. There's about 3 gardens, that can be used. There's different outdoor seating areas. So like for the Cape Town one, there's really so much spaces to use. And then the self-care element is really being there, taking time for yourself. Like I said, you can even just go and sleep for the afternoon, and that's enough, because maybe your body needs that, extra sleep that you don't get a chance to do. So I think that those are all the elements that come together as part of the whole retreat experience.
It's great that you have these different levels of self-care with different contexts whenever you are, maybe national or international. It's great that you have this mix and this great, adaptation to your environments. And you also mentioned how you create an environment that supports women mentally, emotionally, and physically. Talk about these 3 levels of well-being that you wish to improve on retreats: that mental empowerment, the emotional, and also the physical.
Yes, so those 3 elements make up your whole being. If the one is out of a line, it will definitely affect you. So on the retreats, really, I try to incorporate activities and elements that will nurture their mental, emotional, and physical well-being, and geared towards women specifically. So for the mentally, obviously, we do yoga, meditation, the gratitude circles, and then also I do provide worksheets to the women, and that is just really to get the mind, thinking, to clear the mind, and also just emotionally, spiritually. I feel like, just being in that space allows you to, share, your stories. Some activities are emotional for some women, and that's okay. Like sometimes you need to cry. Sometimes you actually don't know why you're crying, but it's also the body's way of like releasing trauma. It could be stored inside of you. Maybe you're doing a yoga pose, and all of a sudden you feel like crying, and that's actually so good because you're releasing something that maybe you have a backache and you're thinking, everything I'm doing and this backache is not going away, and it could be stored trauma, it could be stored energy in that space. And once you actually do a movement to release that stored energy, you actually feel better, and then you become emotional, and some women start crying. So yes, obviously the physical aspect is the meals that I provide is quite nutritious and wholesome. And then we do also creative movement. So that could be, it's like in the last retreat we did embodiment. So it's where it's movements based on like really trying to ignite or awaken your feminine energy, your feminine power. And so obviously just relaxing as well, that is the physical aspect. Your body needs to take a break, to take time out. So those are the 3 aspects, like all the different activities. I do try to incorporate activities that will like speak to those 3 elements, body, mind, and soul.
definitely so true. The fact that it's body, mind, and soul, those three elements that are common and that are often acknowledged. Is great that you bring those up. On retreats, you also get an opportunity to immerse yourself in the history and the culture. You mentioned how you actually do go out on international retreats. So, yeah, just tell us about this. What is the purpose of learning about these different, backgrounds? How does it relate to well-being to go outside when you're on international retreats?
Yeah, so learning about like history and culture, like I love traveling, and I always look for, unique experiences. And I just feel like, adding that to the international retreat really just like adds depth, to the retreat experience. And really it just you know, allows us to appreciate, the diversity of, the Muslim communities around the world, and we get to experience, different cultures. For me, also, depends like on where we're going. You also just have a greater sense of gratitude, and appreciation, acknowledging what you have, the abundance in your life. If you see how other people around the world are living and they are actually happy, and it just makes you realize that you really have to acknowledge and be grateful for what we have in our lives.
Exactly. This idea of, feeling grateful for what you have, and acknowledging, how grateful you should be by seeing other people's experiences. It's always a huge eye opener. You have an itinerary planned for each day on your retreats. Can you take us through one? Maybe the Zanzibar retreat or Hub Bay, just the activities that you organized.
Yes, our Zanzibar recharge in Zanzibar retreat is really, packed with some amazing experiences. So it starts off, as soon as you land, we do provide the airport transfer, so you really don't have to worry about that. We'll do the group dinner, and we'll really start with like, intention setting once again. We do a guided meditation and a gratitude circle. So it just really sets the tone for the week ahead, because in the international ones, it is 7 days. So we do spend a lot of time together, and it's really important, not to lose focus. It is a holiday. Yes, obviously we're in a beautiful location and traveled all the way, but it's also really the intention setting part is really just to remind everybody, that they came there for themselves, not to tire themselves out and not to stress. So the rest of the week is really, we do morning yoga, this group, breakfast every day. We have like amazing chef Musa and his team, in Zanzibar, and they prepare the food. The tours, we do local village tour, we do a madrasa visit, and that was so amazing. Like we walked to the madrasa, and met the teachers, the students, and they're so cute, in their burqas, and the one girl was like learning to recite out of her head, and just to experience that was, it's really, really beautiful. We also swim with turtles, which is so nice, and the water is like refreshing. It's not actually like ocean water, so it's nice and cool. And then visiting beaches, doing the Spice Garden tour. We visit Stone Town, and then in between, all of this, we do like, take time to relax, swimming in the ocean. We also swam in the rain, when we're in Zanzibar. There's also a pool that we have like access to, obviously, throughout the retreat. And I also incorporate a silent hour So it's a chance, because when obviously when you're like on holiday and you are in a different location, it's easy to try to do as much as possible. And so the silent hour was really well received. We all just took an hour to either like work on the worksheets, that I provide, or you could just, swim in the ocean, which is what I did, for an entire hour. And you're just alone, with yourself and your thoughts. And it's really, you can just, again, ground yourself and just get that clarity that you don't maybe get a chance to have. So that's basically the itinerary. At the end, obviously, we have the airport transfer once again back to the airport, and yeah, I think that is like a really brief summary.
It's great, this journey that you take them through, and that you also give each sister choice on how they would like to recharge as well. Yeah, it's just a really great journey, and how you accommodate for everyone. Speaking of accommodation, tell us about that airport transfers and the accommodation that you had for each sister. Maybe in the Soulful Serenity Retreat, in Hout Bay. The Zanzibar retreat. How did that accommodation? How did everything come together?
So yeah, for Zanzibar, we staying at a place called Ola Manga Villas, and we actually have the whole space for ourselves. And it's not like a resort, so there's nobody else. When we are there, it would be like just us, just the women that join the retreat. There are 4 rooms, 5 rooms, including my room. So there's 4 rooms, that's booked. So the group is like kind of small, like maximum 10 women can join. And I think it's just the right amount of people, to not feel like, I always tell the women, sometimes you don't have to feel obligated to talk all the time, you don't have to, because we came there for ourselves, like you don't have to always talk. But so the rooms have king size beds. So the women that join, obviously, know the person that they are going to share the room with. There are no twin beds in those rooms, so everybody is just, sharing a bed. But once again, we actually don't spend so much time in the room. They so many, I don't know, there's like, the ocean is amazing. And the ocean is just like a few steps away from where we stay. There's like a pool right there. Sometimes there's also the village, you can just go walk around and go shopping, or go and see what kind of things they have in the shops as well. And then at the Soulful Serenity in Hout Bay, so that's a bit different, obviously, because there's twin beds. There's also, like, you can have a private room in both Zanzibar and Hout Bay. I mean, if you opt, you don't have anyone to share with, you can have a room on your own. And then there's twin beds, and then there's also, like, you can also share a room with someone, so that obviously you reduce the cost of joining the retreat.
This is amazing. Just your planning skills and everything that you've organized with the accommodations and, the traveling, just everything is so well put. And I have much respect for you for that. We'll be taking another short break after the ads and qasidas, and then we'll be continuing with Liberation Education, Chapter 9.
Islam Live Radio is sponsored by Al Muqeed Foundation South Africa. Would you like to donate cash or kind towards feeding our children and people? Contact the following number: +27 66 33 99 775. Al Muqeed Foundation South Africa, Cape Town, South Africa, serving the humanity.
نحوس على راسي وين نحوس على راسي وين نحوس على راسي. I dream of rain, I dream of gardens in the deserts and awake in vain, I dream of love as time runs through my head. I dream of fire, these dreams are tied to a horse that'll never die, and in the flames, her shadows play in the shape of a man's desire. This desert flower, each of her veils a secret promise. This desert rose, no sweet perfume ever touched me more than this. Awake in vain, I dream of love as time runs through my head. I dream of fire, these dreams are tied to a horse that'll never die, and in the flames, her shadows play in the shape of a man's desire. This desert flower, each of her veils a secret promise. This desert rose, no sweet perfume ever tortured me more than this. هذه مضاد وين نحوس على راسي وين نحوس على راسي وين نحوس على راسي.
You just heard a track from Fawzia, who is a Moroccan artist. The song is called Desert Rose, and she also performed this live. She is quite famous nowadays. She also had a collab with John Legend, I believe, called Minefields. And yes, she's a Moroccan artist. Greetings again from Islam Alive Radio. I'm Ashka Regal, your host for Liberation Education, Chapter 9. And yes, we were discussing with Waheedah Dien from Halaal Sisters Retreat we spoke on the hustle and bustle of everyday life and how self-care is important, and the retreat, how it can recharge them emotionally and mentally and physically as well. We also spoke on the opportunity to immerse yourself in cultures and how that is related to well-being, as well as the itinerary for the Zanzibar and the Houtbay retreats, as well as the accommodation that Waheedah had planned. Okay, that was a mouthful, but yes, just the amazing work that Waheedah does. It's very admirable. Waheedah, you have also posted daily affirmations online. You mentioned how you post affirmations. Tell our listeners, what are affirmations and why do you think they are necessary to put on your posts and necessary for mental health in general?
So affirmations are positive statements, when you repeat them, can really influence your mindset and your outlook on life. They're really powerful tools, especially for women. For mental health, it really helps to replace your negative thoughts with positive, empowering words. Obviously, women, we sometimes, self-sabotage and, have lots of negative. We always think negative of ourselves, and this is really just a way to address, these challenges that we have, and just promoting, self-empowerment and a positive mindset.
It really does promote this positive mindset or outlook in life. And would you mind sharing one affirmation with us today?
Yes, no, that's fine. So I am a very big, advocate for gratitude. So there's an affirmation that my personal affirmation, is that I'm grateful for the blessings and abundance in my life. It's just really a great reminder, to start the day and to end the day with that statement, because like I said, it's so easy to focus on the negative, to focus on things that maybe is lacking, in your life. But if you remind yourself, that the blessings around you and the abundance that you have in your life, it can really, set the tone for your day ahead.
Definitely. In fact, I saw a research or study that mentioned how if you are more grateful, then you'll be actually happier in life. So just the fact that you brought that up as your affirmation, I found it very, powerful as the embodiment of who you are. You focus on themes of connection, friendship, and sisterhood in the Halaal Sisters Retreat. Of course, how does this organization empower the relationship between these women, this friendship, this sisterhood? How does it make it, stronger and enhance this, the ummah?
So for me, through shared experiences, our relationships are really strengthened. Our group activities also really allows everyone to share their knowledge, and experiences through discussions, but also when we do the activities, like the active activities, when women come together, especially groups of women, that are, have maybe similar intentions and mindsets, the energy can be really inspiring and uplifting. When friends, family members come together on retreat, it really allows them to bond, by spending uninterrupted time together. It's really so difficult, like we all know in today's busy lifestyle, to have deep, meaningful conversations with the people that you hold dear to your heart. So when you join the retreat, there are really lots of opportunities for bonding, to deepen your connection with yourself, with the people around you, or the person that you've came to the retreat with. And so coming alone, also has its benefits. It really allows you to reflect, by yourself, on yourself, taking note of your own actions, how you react to certain situations. You get a chance to meet like-minded women, discuss things that you're going through, and really to just know that you're not alone. I always say, the bonds that we create during the retreats really last long. After the retreat has ended, we still keep in contact, and I think that is part of it, to create this friendships and empowered relationships between sisters.
Sisters that are like-minded and who come together, they share this bonds that they keep for a long time. It's great that, Halaal Sisters Retreat enhances and empowers this relationship between the sisters. You also have retreats planned this year, including a magical Marrakech retreat and a reconnect in Phuket as well, Thailand and Morocco. Can you give us a taste of what is to come for these retreats for our sisters?
Yes, I always get so excited for international retreats. Each one has its own special, moments. The magical Marrakesh retreat was really well received, alhamdulillah. I'll be actually running 2 retreats in Marrakesh in July. So the first one was fully booked very quickly, and then I have a second opening from 30th of July to the 6th of August. That one actually still has 1 twin room, waiting to be filled. So if anybody is interested. So Marrakesh itself obviously is so magical. We'll be staying for 7 nights in a luxury private riad, which is like the traditional homes in Morocco. We'll have our own swimming pool, and again, we're going to have a chef, to cook us breakfast and dinner every day. Obviously, part of it will be exploring the local attractions, the souks. There's a palace nearby, tombs, as well as the biggest mosque as well. We're also going to go to the desert, have dinner under the stars, And of course, we're going to have to go to the famous Medina. I think, yes, we'll also do a cooking class. So we'll learn to cook delicious Moroccan cuisine. And of course, it's a retreat, so we are still doing our gratitude circles, the workshops, silent hour, self-reflection. So that is basically, what's in store for Marrakesh. So for Phuket, it is my second home. I lived and worked there for so many years. So I'm really, really excited to share, that space with the ladies that are going to be joining. We'll be staying at an award-winning luxury wellness resort. So again, it's really private. There's a wall so no one can see inside, and we have the pool to ourselves. There's a spa on the premises as well, and then a Thai local chef as well. So for most of my accommodations, I try to do to almost immerse us into the local life of that place. So the same with the one in Phuket. It's nowhere near a tourist hotspot, so there's no lights and too much busyness. We really just have peace and tranquility while we're busy on our retreat. We also do sound healing. There'll be meditations again, gratitude circles, very important. And this is the one thing that I'm really excited about, is that we'll have a cooking class on a private island just off of Phuket. So that's obviously me, using my connections. But I'm really excited, for December. Inshallah, it's going to be amazing. And then, yes, I also have a photo shoot planned for the women. So we'll dress up in the traditional Thai dress, and we'll go to a local, local spot to just take some beautiful pictures. And I think it's just adding that element of fun, and just to we just have fun, let go. And then obviously the space we will be is going to be really relaxing. We can swim, go to the ocean, and people are also free to explore the places at their own time as well.
That all just sounds so divine, just this whole experience. Alhamdulillah for, this is the perfect way to recharge. It's a luxury that many women deserve, and I'm glad that you're giving it to them. Alhamdulillah. We'll be taking one more break, and yes, to play the qasidas. And afterwards, we'll be continuing this amazing utopian of a discussion with Waheedah Dien from Halaal Sisters Retreat. We'll see you after the beat.
I remember when we're still one. Your love, your voice, and your bright eyes were together in this love. Promise we'll forever. And now you left me alone. You find someone better. You went away with her. And one thing I know, you break my heart, break my heart, make me so down in a loneliness. You left me when I did. Thought you were my blessing, being my prince, but I was wrong. Baby, you changed your pain into so down in a
You just listened to the Indonesian singer Putri Aryani. She was recently on America's Got Talent and sang her original song, Loneliness. That's what the song that you've heard. She is a hijabi and she's also a blind singer. But the song that she played, Loneliness, her own song, actually won her the golden buzzer on America's Got Talent. She also had a cover recently with Alan Walker called Who Am I? And yes, just her songs are very emotional, and I'm glad I got to share that with you today. At the end of our session, inshallah, I'll play Istighfar, a piece that she sang and that made me tear up. Actually, just made me really cry. It's a very beautiful piece, and inshallah, I'll play it at the end for you. Greetings again from Islam Live Radio. This is Ashka Regal, your host from Liberation Education, Chapter 9 with Waheedah Dien. Waheedah, you mentioned all this amazing retreats you've been on and will be on in the future. Tell us about the sign-up process. What is required for sisters to do? What do we need to do to earn a spot in the retreat?
Shukran, Ashika. Yes, so the sign-up process is, relatively simple. There's no application, everybody, there's no experience required. And in terms of age, I think that for this retreat to be beneficial, I think that the age range is really, I would say, about 28, up. Anyone younger, I don't think teenagers would be able to really benefit from the retreat and not really see the benefits of it. So I really would recommend this retreat to women, 28 and up. I'm always so amazed, when older women join, because I'm like, wow, they still have they still want to experience something new, and they also bring obviously their own experiences and knowledge with to the retreat. So to answer your question, you just need to pay a deposit to secure your spot, and then I also have a payment plan available for both international and local retreats.
Definitely. I was actually just about to ask the payment process to secure your spot in the retreat and what is not included in the accommodations. So you mentioned 28 plus. So what do you do to secure your spot? The payment, the amount you have to pay, and what is not available for the woman in the retreat.
Yes, so the deposit amount varies between the international and local retreats, and what's not included. So in the local one in Hout Bay, I don't include breakfast, because everybody has their own preference, and I think just to make it comfortable for everyone, you can bring whatever you usually eat for breakfast. And then for the international retreats, airfare is not included, visa processing, application, anything relating to the visa is not included. Staff tips are not included, drinks are not included. And then also, if we go to local attractions, example, if there's entrance fees, those things are not included. But again, the whole retreat experience is quite comprehensive. So even though there are things that are not included, it's really almost, I would say, like the standard, in terms of retreats internationally. So the deposit amount depends on also when people are going to book. The further in advance you book, then you're obviously giving yourself a better payment plan, and obviously the later that you book, obviously the payment plan is going to vary. But I'm quite flexible. If someone asks me by email for a payment plan, I'm quite flexible with that. I do try and release my local retreats at least 3 months in advance, so that people can plan. And then the international ones, yes, I've launched the Zanzibar one, which is happening in September, and then Phuket is happening in December. So again, if you start the payment plan early, you're giving yourself easier terms, basically. So that's basically the payment terms, and how to secure your spot is to pay deposit.
Shukran for confirming the payment process and what is not included in the contract as well. Finally, where do we follow you? How can we contact and get involved in a retreat? Via what apps or mediums do we look for?
So the best way to get, in contact with me is via email. My email address is salam, SALAAM, at halalsistersretreat.com. So that's my email address, and I also am on WhatsApp, 071 926 9221. That is my phone number. And also I am on Instagram. You can follow me on there. It is halal_sisters_retreat. And then I think I have someone assisting me with TikTok at the moment, so they can also find me on there. It's just Halaal Sisters Retreat, one forward. Those are the platforms that I'm currently on, and that email is actually the best way to get hold of me, or just send a DM on Instagram, inshallah.
I'm sure many sisters will love to get in contact with you in the future to talk about the experiences, the lovely experiences that they want to go on. The final questions I have for you, you mentioned you had an Instagram. On one of your posts, you wrote the caption, interviewer, where do you see yourself in the next year? And I'm going to re-ask that question to you today as your interviewer. Where do you see yourself and Halaal Sister Retreat in 2025?
That's a good one. So inshallah, in 2025, ideally, I hope and I pray that Halaal Sisters Retreat would have expanded, in its reach, in its offering, providing diverse and enriched experiences to the sisters, to women that are keen to experience, this retreat with us. So obviously also, traveling to amazing destinations with groups of ladies, building a community of empowered, resilient and connected women, and also just creating a community of sisters, of a sisterhood. Inshallah, that is my vision for Halaal Sisters Retreat in 2025.
Shukran so much, Waheedah, for being with us today and giving us insight into what you do with Halaal Sisters Retreat. It's a great opportunity for women to take a break from the hustle and bustle of their lives. And I'm glad that you give them an opportunity to just breathe and recharge after the hard work they do. Shukran, Waheedah, for being with us today. And to our listeners, remember that you can find Waheedah on Instagram, Halaal Sisters Retreat. Shukran so much for being with us today.
Shukran, Ashika. Shukran so much for having me on air today, and I really appreciate you, giving me this time and space to share Halaal Sisters Retreat, what we're doing, what we aim to do, and inshallah, we'll grow from strength to strength. And shukran for everything.
An honor to have you, and I have no doubt that your organization will flourish from here on out. Okay, shukran for our listeners for being tuned to Islam Live Radio. Remember, you can check us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, where you can like, share, and subscribe. For any queries, email us on islamliveradio@gmail.com or send us a WhatsApp on +27 81 217 6012. Shukran for being tuned to Islam Live Radio. I'm your host, Ashka Rigo, and this was Chapter 9, Liberation Education. As promised, I will sign off with Istighfar, a piece by Putri Aryani, the blind hijabi singer from Indonesia who won the Golden Buzzer at America's Got Talent.
Astaghfirullah Rabbal Baraya, Astaghfirullah أستغفر الله من الخطايا ربي زدني علما نافعا وارزقني عملا مقبولا وهب لي رزقا واسعا وتوب علينا توبة نسوها وتوب علينا توبة نسوها أستغفر الله رب البرايا أستغفر الله من الخطايا أستغفر الله رب البرايا أستغفر الله من الخطايا ربي زدني علما نافعا وارزقني عملا مقبولا وهب لي رزقا واسعا وتوب علينا توبة نسوها وتوب علينا توبة نسوها أستغفر الله رب البرايا أستغفر الله من الخطايا أستغفر الله رب البرايا أستغفر الله من الخطايا
Don't say this, don't say that. I'm not playing by the rules. If they were made by you, I won't break just like that. I'll make my own mistakes till I'm wrong in all the right ways. Save all your tears, you don't wanna waste them on me. I'm not gonna be just like them. This is just the way that I am. Head in the clouds, I don't know fit into the crowd. Baby, it's all making perfect sense, 'cause this is who I am, who I am.
Don't say this, don't say that. I'm not playing by the rules. If they were made by you, I won't break just like that. I'll make my own tears, you don't wanna waste them on me. I'm not gonna be just like them. This is just the way that I am. Head in the clouds, I don't wanna fit into the crowd. Maybe it's all making perfect sense, 'cause this is who I am, who I am.